Peace, love, and blessings, fam. Johnny Sally here. Day 28 of 60, reading through Wisdom of the Ages. If you've missed any of the previous recordings, you can go and check them out on YouTube at Loyalty Life, spelled Lyfe, Legacy, LLC. Day 28, Reverence for Nature. There is no quiet place in your cities, no place to hear the leaves of spring or the rustle of insect wings. The Indians prefer the soft sound of the wind darting over the face of the pond, the smell of the wind itself cleansed by a midday rain or scented with the pinyon pine. The air is precious to the red man, for all things share the same breath, the animals, the trees, the man. Like a man who has been dying for many days, a man in your city is numb to stench. Chief Seattle. A member of the Suquamish tribes who befriended white settlers in the Puget Sound area, Chief Seattle participated in the Port Elliott Treaty of 1855, ceding Indian land and establishing reservations. The following section is devoted to the wisdom of the Native Americans, whose words reflect their reverence for all that is sacred in our natural world. I will cite some of the Native Americans whose contemplative words of wisdom and peace have been left for us to read and share. It is to their memory and to our very survival as a people that this section is dedicated. Theirs is a legacy of deep love and respect for our environment. Chief Seattle. Chief Seattle is best known as the man who wrote a now famous letter to the President of the United States, asking him to consider the American Indians' point of view. Every part of the earth is sacred to his people, he wrote, and we are all part of the precious earth as well as being brothers in spirit. In the passage quoted above, Chief Seattle asks us to increase our awareness of the soft sounds and the sweet smells of life. In doing so, we will treat our environment with greater respect, not only for its natural beauty, but because we become aware that we are a part of this interconnected web of life. We all share the same breath, the animals, the trees, and one another. Oreen Lyons. In the following passage, Oreen Lyons, known as the Onondaga Faith Keeper, tells us how his people think 7 generations ahead when making decisions. In our way of life, in our government, with every decision we make, we always keep in mind the 7th generation to come. It's our job to see that the people coming ahead, the generation still unborn, have a world no worse than ours and hopefully better. When we walk upon Mother Earth, we always plant our feet carefully because we know the faces of our future generations are looking up at us from beneath the ground. We never forget them. Would that we consider those unborn generations as we trample our forests and pollute our skies in the name of progress in our present day enlightenment. Wolf Song. Would that we also remind ourselves that everything is a circle and every living creature is a part of our sacred hoop of life, as Wolf Song of the Abenaki tribe puts it. To honor and respect means to think of the land and the water and plants and animals who live here as having a right equal to our own to be here. We are not the supreme and all-knowing beings living at the top of the pinnacle of evolution, but in fact, we are members of the sacred hoop of life, along with the trees and rocks, the coyotes and eagles, and fish and toads that each fulfill its purpose. They each perform their given task in the sacred hoop, and we have one too. In our cities, we have lost much of our grace and naturalness in the name of civilization. We have created noisy, dirty, crowded places to gather and live in, and in the process, we have retarded our spirituality. For me, there's nothing so rejuvenating as being out in nature and experiencing this sacred hoop directly. Walking buffalo. While our books and places of study do provide us with an invigorating environment, it seems to me that Walking Buffalo, Tatangamani, Stony Indian, offers us an alternative mulay in which to prove in which to profit from the terrain, scenery, and immediate surroundings. He observes, "Oh yes, I went to the white man's schools. I learned to read from school books, newspapers, and the Bible. But in time, I found that these were not enough. Civilized people depend too much on man-made printed pages. I turned to the Great Spirit's book, which is the whole of creation. You can read a big part of that book if you study nature. You know, if you take all your books, lay them out under the sun, and let the snow and rain and insects work on them for a while, there will be nothing left. But the Great Spirit has provided you and me with an opportunity to study in nature's universities of the forests, the rivers, the mountains, and the animals, which include us. We are being asked to consider the whole of creation and to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature as something that is just as much connected to us as our feet, hands, and heart. This kind of thinking requires us to look beyond our own immediate feelings of separation from the rest and our sense of being limited in time and space. The Native Americans believe that everywhere is the center of the world. Everything is sacred. Luther Standing Bear. The Indian people who lived here before we brought refinement and culture in the form of our civilizing efforts send us a message as we seek to enhance our spirituality and regain our connection to the divine creator of all. For the American Indian, the divine creator of all was known as Wakantaka, and all life contained this essence. The winds and the drifting clouds were Wakantanka in action. The common sticks and stones were revered as manifestations of the all-pervading mysterious power that fills the universe. Luther Standing Bear, an Oglala Sioux chief, expressed it poetically. The Indian loved to worship. From birth to death, he revered his surroundings. He considered himself born in the luxury lap of Mother Earth, and no place to him was humble. There was nothing between him and the big holy. The contact was immediate and personal, and the blessings of Wakantanka flowed over the Indian like rain showered from the sky. You can see how much more peaceful and joyful your life would be were you raised to have such reverence for all your surroundings. I love the idea of immediate contact with the big holy. This is something that each and every one of us long to reestablish in our lives, and Luther Standing Bear's observations is perhaps a method. Look around and be in a state of reverence while encouraging others to do the same. Walking Buffalo. I return to the wisdom of Walking Buffalo. It would be absurd to suggest that you leave your urban lifestyle to live in the wilderness. Modern life has much to offer, and our cities are definitely here to stay. The good with the bad. Yet, our city life attitudes may have disconnected us from the natural laws of spiritual harmony. Walking Buffalo transitioned in 1967 at the age of 96. He had seen much of both worlds and left these words for us. Hills are always more beautiful than stone buildings, you know. Living in a city is an artificial existence. Lots of people hardly ever feel real soil under their feet, see plants grow except in flower pots, or get far enough beyond the streetlight to catch the enchantment of a night sky studded with stars. When people live far from scenes of the Great Spirit's making, it's easy for them to forget his laws. He asks us not to move out, but to remember the sacredness of all life, and to be aware at all times of how these natural laws are always at work in this sacred hoop. Whenever you live, whatever your immediate environment looks like, these natural laws are at work. The air, water, trees, minerals, clouds, animals, birds, and insects all support life. Pay attention to our ancient ancestors who lived on these lands for thousands upon thousands of years with enormous reverence for the natural laws. This is what today we call ecological awareness. Native Americans thought 7 generations ahead so that the preciousness of life would endure. The poetry of these Native Americans asks us to rekindle that flame. Consider it and begin to allow some of this ancient wisdom into your daily life. I close with this offering to us from some Americans with this Ojibwa prayer, which we all might well read and apply anew each day. Grandfather, look at our brokenness. We know that in all creation, only the human family has strayed from the sacred way. We know that we are the ones who are divided, and we are the ones who must come back together to walk in the sacred way. Grandfather, Sacred One, teach us love, compassion, honor, that we may heal the earth and heal each other. To put the essential message of all these Native American contributors to work in your life, start today to 1. Revere your surroundings by being in a constant state of gratitude for so much of what is taken for granted. Bless the animals, sunshine, rain, air, trees, and ground in silent rituals of thanksgiving each day. 2. Promote ecological awareness in your life by contributing to organizations that work on behalf of the environment. Make a conscious effort to reduce pollution, eliminate litter, and practice recycling. Your individual actions can recreate respect and reverence for Earth and the universe, our sacred web of life. 3. Spend more time in the solitude of nature, listening to the natural sounds and walking barefoot on the earth to reconnect yourself to all that supports and sustains life. Live by example. 4. Rather than bemoaning the fact that people litter, pick up that aluminum can and dispose of it properly, even though someone else was careless. Let young people see you act in these ways. 4, repeat the Ojibwe prayer. Help heal the earth and each other with this reminder to live with love, compassion, and honor in your life each day. The more we grow, the more we should learn. Yet we as a culture have not yet understood how detrimental it is for us to reconnect with Mother Earth, Mother Terra. So the next time you get a chance, go stand barefoot outside. Just go sit and listen. If you can go to the woods, a forest, a beach, go and allow yourself to be present in all that is pure and natural. And just allow yourself a moment of time in that space to reconnect with all that is connection. Did you know that, believe that all of the trees are connected? All of their root systems touch or intermingle at some point in time. Imagine if we as a people were like that. Yes, you could say social media does it, but it's not as pure and as connected as what we should be. how we could be. Learn to appreciate the little things, and the most grandiose things will become even more extravagant and explain themselves to you in ways that you could never imagine. I thank you for being here today, more so for yourself than for me. I ask that you walk in love, walk in light, walk in peace, and know that you are loved.